Hey, what's up, yo? How's it going? It's your old pal Dave Sebastian coming to you live from old Shirley Town in my home studio. I'm excited to be with you guys. My name is David Sebastian. I work for Wayside Youth and Family, which is a human service agency out of Framingham. We work together with a grant from the Department of Mental Health to outreach to young adults in the 97 towns of Central Mass. I've been doing this work for about 7 years, and I've had a great time doing it. I hope some of my kids are out there because I super miss you guys, and I would really like it if I got a chance to work with you guys again. And that's going to come. We're probably nearing the end of the cross that we're all bearing. You know what I mean? So that's the deal with that. We're going to be here every Wednesday and Friday from 12 to 2 doing this live stream about art creation. My program, Greenhouse Graphics, is really all about doing art with young adults in our community. So since I can't do that, I'm here running an arts program here on Facebook. So I can show you, we can draw it together a little bit. If you guys are interested in something else and not what I'm working on, that is 100% fine. I'm really doing this work to kind of motivate folks to try, just to work with whatever you have at your house. Just give it a try. And, and you can work along with me or just watch me. When this is done, all of these videos will be on Facebook and, there for the duration. So anytime you want to watch them is totally fine. I think this is maybe our 13th or 14th live stream. Also on Instagram every Monday and Thursday. That's 1 to 2. Unfortunately, Instagram only gives us an hour, so that's what we're kind of using. So today we're going to continue the project that I've been doing this whole week. I started on Instagram Monday, Facebook Wednesday, Facebook Friday. We're working on this piece. 6 hours is not a wicked long time to work on something, especially something that's sort of complicated. I'll show you guys what the piece looks like so far. This is a fish based on the artwork of Hieronymus Bosch. I'm sure you guys know who Hieronymus Bosch is. He's one of the great masters of the medieval times. His artwork was the first person who ever depicted what he thought hell would look like. His triptych is one of the most famous ever. It's heaven, purgatory, and hell. The way characters look and stuff, no one has ever really done them as interestingly as this guy. He also drew a lot of common people, and not a lot of common people were painted at that time. It was mostly kings and princes. Excuse me. So the chance to get, to be in a painting by a master for a regular guy was rare. Now, this particular piece that we're working on is definitely not super realistic, right? Hopefully there's no giant fish. But at the same time, maybe it'd be good news, right? Imagine how many fish steaks you could make out of this guy. All right, so let's get right into it. I hope this little thing doesn't bother anybody. My picture-in-picture. I kind of feel like maybe it should be over on the other side. What do you guys think? Over here. Oops, doesn't want to move. Oh, maybe you can't move while you're live. Either way, that's a good spot for it. So we'll just bring it over here. And when we're working, we'll turn it off. All right. Cool. So what we were working on yesterday was this character here in the middle. We're going to go back to working on this character in this area here with the fish and stuff. So we got to get in here with some slightly different colors than what we used. I'm still trying to figure out the colors. You know what I mean? Every time I do this work, I'm trying to figure out the colors, I need a little more light over here, a little more light up here. I don't know if you guys can see that any better. I hope so. We could possibly zoom in a little bit. Or perhaps not. There we go. There it is. All right. As I always say when we're doing this work, I can't do the work without listening to music. So I am sorry about that, but I have really no idea of what else to do. What do we feel like listening to today? Oh, apparently Alabama Shakes. All right. Let me know if this bothers anybody. I probably won't change it, but I'm willing to take the feedback. So we got a lot of shadow here. All right, so we're getting in here to the fish, and want to try to give them a variety of fishy kind of colors, but I'm having a hard time finding something that is kind of lighter. But it's a challenge. And then of course we need our white, which is what we've used the most so far in this piece because it's a black background. So same thing, some of these fish are upside down. If the fish is upside down, the bottom of his jaw has a little white on it. Maybe that'll help us with our green here. It definitely seems to pull the fish out, you know what I mean? Like it obviously pulls the fish out. Is to draw them in white. I like the fact that fish are coming out on both ends. It's really odd. I dig it. Switch to the green. Man, why did that move? Oh yeah. Let's see what other fish we can come up with. And like I was saying, I wish I had a really light green, that would stand up a lot, but we're working on black paper, so it's probably unrealistic to get a really bright color. You know what I mean? I love this part right here where it's fish throwing up fish, throwing up fish. Very amusing. This is the kind of stuff that I'm looking to do pretty much all the time. Something odd, something a little bit different. Stay up there, pencils. All right. So we're getting this guy going. Just so you can see him a little bit better. Right? This big opening in the fish that he's taking the other fish out of is interesting. Unfortunately, the reflection off of this surface is really bothering me. I have worked with this stuff a million times, and it's never seemed to have been such a problem, really. But it's fine. We will figure it out. We got this guy standing out. Now we need to get this guy. This guy over here is gutting a fish with a buddy of his. They're going fishing. He has caught something, and now he's opening it up to eat it. We're going to save it to cook. Back here we got some blankets and stuff, the inside of the boat. You know what I mean? We're going to change the inside of the boat to brown after I get all the marks that I need. Alright, so getting the boat to break off from the background is, really important. So you don't want the whole thing to blend in because that just doesn't look right. You know what I mean? Even this part I have some issues with because I feel like it kind of cuts off, but then it's like a rowboat, so maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. This circle around the fish eye, all of the fish eyes is a strong white. And we can go in with black and keep going back and forth and make it whatever size that we want. I like that fish's eye being just a bit bigger. It makes them scarier. Most of the fish don't have eyes in this thing. They're just dots. That's kind of okay, you know. Sometimes that's how fish look. Let me know if this music bothers you guys. This is Monster Magnet. It's a band that I like, but they aren't for everybody. Lead singer Dave Windorf came to Blue Man when I worked there, and it was a cool opportunity to meet him. He was really cool. Going back to our vivid green in here, this front fish doesn't seem to have the same kind of coverage that the back fish have. Go back in with black. And this guy an eye. Little mouth. Cool. Alright, more white around some more fish. We were just talking about how the bottom of the fish needs to have some white in it. I don't think all fish are white underneath, but these ones are. Back in with black in here to try to clean up some of the sort of sloppy white that I got in. Clean that up. Same thing we were just talking about with the eye area. Oh. Alright. So all these eyes need to be a little whiter. So they kind of match the big guy. Right. Even get a few details in here, like the side of his head, inside of his hat here. The cool fact that he's got a hat on, you know. You get it really around his head. Really good. Okay, so there's Mom. All right. You guys see that okay? We're working right now. Working on this character's face. Kind of jumping around a little. That's sort of how I work. Keep moving. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Want to look at, you know, you always want to kind of keep some reference up, you know, because you might need it. You could search Hieronymus Bosch fish, and you would get this image, among others. He's drawn kind of a lot of fish. I like it. Oh, you know what? I feel like I just remembered that I already clipped this thing, right? So check this out, man. This is what we're going to use for reference. I believe it's this one. There you go. You guys can check it out. This is the reference that I'm using. Bosch had his own way of doing these things. This is just sort of my way. I've edited a lot, cropped it a lot to make it make sense on 9x12. So that's just kind of how it is. You know, like you work from reference. Doesn't make any difference. You know, it's actually a really, really good way to work. And we can go in here with these fish next and see how we're doing. back into the fish. So through this area of the fish, we have some, some white, some lighter green. So what I'm going to do is try to create a contour shape that's, white for under the fish. It'll help me with this guy's hand, as it'll make it stand out more, and then we can work on it, make it make sense. It'll make sense as far as the fish having some white on the bottom. This is up a little bit of his side, but I think it'll help us to show, the three-dimensionality of the fish. And like I said, this will help us with this character's hand. And also, if there's too much white, if you find yourself using too much white, we can cover it with green, and it'll help us to make that light green I've been talking about. All right. So now we want to try to give this area here, which is the fins, or the side fin, on this creature, a little bit of lighter green. You know what I mean? Unintentional rhyme there. It's lighter green, if you know what I mean. I kind of like what's going on there. It's pulling some of the fish out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to use your pencil like a paintbrush, because it definitely helps to add effect. Now in here, we want kind of a flap of skin, because he's opening the fish up back here. So you kind of want a little flap of skin. And then, like I said, we can go through here and add a little bit of green. Even a different green is kind of a variety. All of us, everything in nature, something is one color, obviously, like a blue rock, say. But the light on it, the sun on it, changes what it looks like. You know what I mean? So that's a big difference. So I'm going to keep this going. Seems like a little bit more white up here. You know what I mean? Drawing down into this area. Just come in here. And I want to go back in with our ink black. See if we can dull out some of the overlap. Now these are creases in the fish's face, so it makes sense to kind of build some valleys in there with color. You know what I mean? We're going to overlap a little bit here to allow us to, kind of fill some areas with some black, because definitely there would be some kind of an effect of, this is basically just a little darker green. What else we got here? Vivid green. Let's go with that guy. All right. Same thing if something's too bright. You feel like it's standing out or something. Hit it with some green. It's going to help. Help our contour coloring going. sometimes you get what I think of as like a hot spot with the white. Where it's too white. Well, we gotta fix it. But sometimes too white is okay. It'll pull a character off a background. It'll give us some stuff. Go. Get a little underlap going here. It'll really pull the fish up. Because let's face it, what is the subject of the painting? You know, it's about abundance and that kind of stuff, but it is also about the fish. Keep switching back and forth if you feel like any of your whites are too bright. You know, we can go in and adjust that. Pull it down a little. In fact, all the stuff that are kind of within his body, I'm going to try to get a little green with, so that it doesn't look like big white highlights. It looks like a little bit of light on a green object. At least inside. Like, you know, I don't worry about the very edge. A lot of these things are not necessarily how they look. You know, we got to kind of be willing to work with, you know, what we got here, you know, with our options. I think we're going to stick with the white for a little bit. I'm just looking for a little bit sharper point. Okay, these fish over here we were just talking about that are coming out of his mouth. Now these guys aren't going to be as bright because we want them to get some shadow. Might be able to see something as they come out, but we don't want to have too much. You know what I mean? Like this guy, he's like spitting out another fish backwards. That's got to be a little bit unpleasant, you know what I mean? So this one looks good. Now we just want to push him down, same deal. Pull some green in on this light that I built here. See how that color changes a bit? Overlap. Inktense is really exceptionally good at sort of blending and stuff. A little white in here, so again we can come back with the green. What do you guys think? How's it look, huh? I'm looking for feedback, people. Anything you want to do, anything you want to say, anything you want to hear. You know what I mean? Guys, see this part over here, okay? Zoom in a little on there. Right now we're looking at this piece right here, which is this sort of fish man over here. And he's got a fish in his mouth, which I really like. I think it looks really cool. I'm not exactly sure where a fish man would come from, but I'm fine with it. I dig it. So remember, the bottom of the fish is this color. No, it's not a stripe really, just the bottom of the fish. See him there? Can't see wicked good. Don't have my glasses on. Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Still with me? Everybody doing all right? Yeah? Since it's so quiet, I think I'm okay. You know what I mean? This is Metallica. Okay, what are we doing now? Let's put a little more white down here. Can I see that okay? I'm going to come in so that we can establish this guy's hand even more. I kind of like the fact that the bottom of the fish is sort of a white. Give us something to bounce off of our characters to make them seem a little bit more present. What do you guys think? How's it coming along? You know, we panned it out a little bit. What do you guys think? It's getting there, right? I'm feeling pretty good about it. You know, we're going to keep trying and see where we can get to. Yeah. All right, back to work. One thing we didn't deal with at all is this character up here, which probably can't even see. All right. So this character here with the pitchfork, we did some stuff with the ladder, but we haven't really done anything with this character himself. We talked about the light being, you know, kind of from this corner here with the reflections of our city. The darker colors over here, the way the fish are lit. So we know that we're getting, that it's kind of working out. If I didn't mention it, I'm working with Ink Tints, which is a freeze-dried ink product by Derwent. I really like Ink Tints. They're really fun to work with. They're very dependable. Only complaint I have at all is that they're kind of expensive. Not that bad, but something, you know what I mean? So, you know, I would say you guys should try them, but I'm not putting any pressure on anyone. In here, we have the this area here is the character with a knife in his mouth. You see him here. We're gonna try to like take the knife and bring it up a little, because a knife blade would be pretty bright, right? And now you can really see that knife blade sticking out of the guy's mouth. This is the same knife, I'm guessing, that this character over here has. So we're going to kind of give it its circle, give it this back end turn, and now we're going to go in with our black, kind of try to build a hilt a little bit. Damn, picked up the wrong one. This is the curse when you are colorblind. Guess we'll say it's a blue knife. All right. Another thing we got to look at is we came up with a pretty good skin color, but a little bit of it's taken away from the characters, you know, because this skin color, it took me a few tries to get it. So basically it removed all of the features from our characters. But we can put those things back, you know what I mean? This guy is saying, oh, look at that. That's a big fish. There's a small character in between these two guys. I'm thinking like a kid, you know. And this is what he's wearing, you know, kind of like a coat and stuff, a hat. And his dad is saying, hey buddy, look at this. Which is extremely cool. So we're going to put, you know, some white through here, so that when we put the brown on, we'll be able to see it, right? Good to hit a little lighting behind things, you know, a little bounce. Switch back to black so we can get this guy's hand. Got to keep your pencils extremely sharp when you're doing this work, because you want to be able to get in your details, right? And if you don't get in tight enough, they're not details. Cool. So come in and add a little bit to this eye, each of the eyes, since we have black nice and sharp. All right. We were working down here on this character's hands. Now, you don't have to do much to reference hands. We all, you know about hands. We're all familiar with hands. You know what I mean? Cool. So in this character's clothing, I want to get some brown, because I'm guessing most of the colors back in the day were brown based, because they were being made out of animal skins and stuff like that. I'm pretty colorblind. This is a problem. But you know, anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Alright. Let me know if this music is bothering anyone. This one is Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Alright. Now we want to add just a little, you know, brown to the inside of the boat. Not necessarily taking any detail away, although I guess I am taking this white line's intensity down a little bit. Pretty much a lot of brown in something that's about the olden times. Right? I was thinking maybe add just a little bit of color on whatever is in the bag here. Like I said, a little bit challenging to cover a dark color with a light color. That's definitely how it goes. Now in here, I overlapped a little bit too much, so we go in here with our brown and just fill it in. Cool. Got a little bit of a hot spot on the back guy here. There we go. All right, where to go next? Got to think we're back to white again. White is totally hooking us up. You know, like this is really working out. As much white as possible. Fish, fish, fish. Gotta fit one more fish eating a fish in here. That seems like it'd be good. This guy has his mouth open. Well, that didn't work out. So we just go in again with the black, which is apparently becoming our go-to tool for today's stuff. Whoa, don't drop your pencil. If you guys remember yesterday, I was saying don't drop your pencil because it breaks the lead inside, and then every time you sharpen it, the tip falls out. It's inconvenient to say the least. Oh, look at this guy. Try to get as many fish in as possible. I was drawing like some crabs. Seems like a crab might be something you'd see out here where the fish are. Know what I mean? All right. So we got this ground over here. You know, like this part. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. So you see where we're going. You know, like there's some interesting stuff happening. We have to still work on, you know, some aspects here and there. Remember we said the bottom of the fish was going to be white. Well, I painted the bottom of the fish green here. So this particular fish isn't white. He's kind of green. What I figure I'll do is use this white to make this guy's hand show up a little bit. Oh, that's why I didn't do that. Whoops. I want to have this incision he's pulling the fish out of without covering his hands at all. Fish kind of comes under here. And a little bit more with our vivid green. what's happening there. So every once in a while, it's good to step back, take a look at what you're doing, and see if it's going the way that you want it to go. I mean, honestly, this is your work, so whatever you choose to do is absolutely fine. You know what I mean? Like, I love the idea of one of the things that's always appealed to me with drawing is that we are masters of every aspect of what we're working on. You know, like, as a mentor, I very often come in and tell folks to change this or that, or watch out for, you know, what's happening here. But bottom line is, I really want you guys to figure out a way to do this on your own. Excuse me. You know, like, to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. You do your own, you know. But there's a lot of good stuff out there for masters. There's a lot of great artists around online. You guys can check them out. I like an awful lot of different artists online. Some of my favorites are Cause. He's sort of a graffiti artist turned fine artist. Mere One, another graffiti artist turned fine artist. Let's see, who else? I love Hieronymus Bosch. I love Gustave Doré, another guy who was into etchings. I really like a lot of modern comic book artists. I find them to be really talented. This is just the kind of stuff that I'm really looking for, you know, comic-wise. But there's a ton of artists out there. They're like Mike Mignola. These guys are all comic book artists, but the artwork today, some of the most successful artists in the art world today are comic artists, because unlike fine artists who paint whatever they want, comic book artists have to draw our world as realistically as possible to make us believe that that's what, you know, the area looks like. So this is much harder, I feel like, than creating something that you control all of. There's room for both of those things, but this is an awesome freedom, I feel like. And comics have this task, you know what I mean, that they have to keep up with. So I think they're some of the most talented artists in the world. So back to our stuff. I feel like we need some more, you know, fish over in this area. There's some good tails and stuff coming down, but I think we need a little bit more as we come out here. All right. Just so they make, you know, as much sense as possible. There's a herd of fish falling out of this guy's mouth. This would be like under his jaw. All right, looking up at him. Pull these guys out a little. Alright, now we need our vivid green again. So we can get in here and talk to this guy. Alright, we forgot to fix this guy's hand when we were building better hands. Getting there. Getting there. Back into our white here for a sec. Throw another fish eye here. Right. Go back with black. Fill the fish eye in the middle. A lot of eyes in this piece. They're all looking at us. Scary, scary stuff. These characters over here, you know, I haven't really thought about what's going on with them. You know what I mean? What should we do with those guys? Cool. Guys, hear my dog panting in the background? She's a good girl, but sometimes she pants a lot. Alright. So I think another thing that might be cool is to put some fish on the ground over here, you know, like whatever you think a sea kind of creature would be. So, I mean, whatever a fish would look like. Yeah, so we just want to throw a couple of fish in here. That would be maybe, you know, sitting on the shore while this scene is going on. Alright. Yep. And then out a little more. And then like this. A little bit around his eye. And then we get in with our vivid green. I think we'll give it a little white down here. Gills. Gotta get these whites a little bigger, even though these guys are far away. I feel like you'd still be able to see their black fish eyes. This is one of the curses of being colorblind. I am literally forever trying to figure out what color I'm working on and working with, excuse me. It's a serious pain in the butt. But you get over it, I suppose, sort of. I'm going to get back to working on this thing. I'm putting up this little box so that you guys can see me talking instead of the disembodied voice that a lot of the guys I look at don't worry about so much. But I do. I'm always worried about pretty much everything. I want you guys to dig it. I want to figure out a way to do it as best as I can. I'm really excited to find a way to work with my young adults because honestly, I really miss you guys. Maybe I don't miss you guys as much as the chicken, but I do miss you guys, Gene and Elsa, I'm sure you're not out here with me, but man, I wish you were because I miss you guys. All right. So what we want to do with this is we want to get in with some green and just push it back a little bit so that it doesn't look like a big bright white line. It looks like a little fish going into the shadow. Give this stuff in his mouth just a little bit more punch, That is one of my most important parts would be this, to make this guy work. Looking for a little bit of a brighter blue. And since I can't find any of them, or I can't see any of them, I have to continue looking. Oh, wait, no. Light blue. Huh. Can't find one. So check this out. What's up here? Here is some of my additional ink tints. Green aquamarine might be good. Kind of a lot of green in the piece, though, right? Iron blue, purple. Let's go with deep blue. See what happens there. As I've mentioned in our live streams, I have a few of these, and it's hard to figure out which ones to use. Because it's hard for me even to see them. You know what I mean? Like, for example, this one. This one is more or less visible to me. You guys let me know if you can see any of this, because I can't. Let's add a little extra blue in here. You can see that one. I like it. And this kind of helps us give the water a little bit more variation and stuff. Like here kind of feels like the land, but it is the water. And anytime you can make ripples from your character's movement in the water, that really helps. That's a really cool thing to do. I always say the more, variations you have in a given color, the more realistic your scene kind of looks, Take a look at that corner. I feel like that fish looks more like he's sitting in the water, Same with this here is, if this thing was lapping up on the side of this boat, it wouldn't be the only ripples. There'd be ripples at each location. So good to give it a little additional, kick or whatever. How's that look? I'm liking the variations in the blue. Cool. Right. How are we looking? Not too bad. I'm liking it. Now we need a little bit of a different brown. I have a few browns here. We want to try to go in and hit these trees again and try to give them a little bit more punch and a little bit more brown. So this brown I'm using here is madder brown. Just looking for one more. If you guys hadn't seen this, this is a piece I did sort of to motivate me to do this one. I wonder how sepia looks. Most of the time, I make sure I have a sample piece of paper so that I can take a look at it. It looks pretty good. Hey guys, my dog is barking, so I need about 2 seconds to check on him. So can you guys hold on 1 second? Sorry. Sorry about that. Hey, here we are back again. Sorry about that, guys. We're going back in to work on some more stuff. I found a sepia, so we're going to take a look at what that looks like. Not bad. Definitely seems a little different than the color we've used. So we're going to go back to brown, which is this color here. This one's is sepia, and I believe sepia is like a brown. So these colors here are golden yellow, which I don't need right now, and pain gray, which I haven't really figured out how to work with just yet. So this is brown. So we want to go in with our trees here a little bit, try to add a little different brown without taking away all the white. As we have been doing, it has been kind of working out, is to go into some of these things and add white and then do our gray, do our color over it. Seems like trees might be fine for that method since they're, kind of striped. All right. I feel like this part of the ladder we missed. This guy has a fish on his back. We talked about it when I was drawing it, but here is a guy carrying a fish up a ladder so that he can hang them like these two fish. A couple things that are important when doing things hanging and things overlapping, like for example, this guy's ladder, right? So this ladder is going to lean against the tree at an angle, right? So you can see the ladder over here a bit, but it's at an angle, right? Need to sharpen my pencil again. White goes down quick. All right, let's go back in over here. We're getting some, some good tree stuff going on. Make this tree one tree. So what I'm doing here is adding some white so that we can put the other brown down and get some variety in line quality and color. You know, right now that makes things look kind of crappy. Or maybe it looks like they stand out a little more, but we're just going to try to add a little green without wiping out everything, because a little bit of white's okay. It does pull it, you know, it helps separate it from the background, as I have mentioned a few times. Down here. This is the edge of the barn over there, so we don't want to put brown in there. Just in. I think we'll just take that away. That'll just be the barn in there. All right. What do you guys think? It's kind of coming along. Now hold on just 1 second. Gotta drink water. Talking for 2 hours is a lot. But we're gonna make it. Oh. Back in. You guys see this thing okay? We could probably zoom a little. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There you go. Okay. So what we got going right now is this stuff right here. How's this looking to everybody? Looking all right? I think looking at it from here, it seems like we need a little bit of light on the guys in the boat. They seem to be getting lost in the background. So I'm going to just get in here. Alright. See if this is helping to pull this cat up. Alright. A little bit to pull the knife in. Not too much we can do with the knife because of how much color we've already got in that area. Really wanted to try this gray, but I'm worried that we won't be able to see it. Especially because each time I've tried it, I haven't been able to see it. A little bit of gray up here, maybe over some of our white. If we can give it a little gray coat. Like a big fish stuck in this spot. You know, the fish are a really interesting thing that Bosch is doing here. You know, this is, I feel like it's about abundance. You know, this is about like how much fish there are in the world and how excited these characters felt about getting, about the existence of the fish and about how fish have saved so many of our lives by existing and being a food product. So I dig that. I think that that's a really, really cool subject. Hey.
Are you recording?
All right. That was my wife stopping by to say hello. We are all stuck at home, so you know how it is. All right, things are kind of coming along. I think that we need to use a little black here. The massively overused black. Oh. Where'd it go? Got away from me. Oh, here's another gray. That's cool. Must be this one. Nope. Nothing's worse than losing the marker you're using the most. It's on the floor. It's not in my hand, right? Okay, gray. Green. Nothing is worse than losing the marker you're working with, or the pencil. Here it is. Just a little bit of a pain, we can use black in here to kind of pull out more, fish stuff. Definitely, of course, the intention is to just show a million fish. Our old friend white is coming in again because the bottoms of the fish is white. Doing this here just to give a place for our green to exist. All right. Going with our green, which we're using vivid. Right. There we go. I'm going to switch over to another green just to give it, like I've been saying, a little bit of extra depth and purport and that kind of stuff. How about this one? What is this one? Ionian green. So we test it like I showed you guys. Yeah, that was not bad. A little bit of a different green. We need a little bit of a different green so that we can. There's a lot of greens on these fish. There we go, another guy there. Top of this guy. Combine this white here. Right. Back in here a little bit. Hard to really get a variety of colors on black, I'm liking trying, but this probably would have made as much sense doing on a white piece of paper. But I'm liking what's happening with the black, like it's really interesting, What do you guys think so far? This is what we're, where we're at. Background stuff going on. Back up a little. There we go. Take a look at it. This is what we got going so far. I think it's looking all right. yeah, I think it's looking all right. So we're gonna head back in and do some more stuff. All right. I think we're gonna jump over with our black and work on this pitchfork that this character's using. You know what I mean? Right here. Oh no! It's like my black broke. Go. Alright. We did it's good to go in and put some contour lines around a spear because it definitely makes it make more sense. I think I forgot to outline this guy's hand. I'm not loving that, so we want to go in with a little white and then pink. Where did our pink go? For sure, the king of losing everything. Back with white. I'm not sure how much of this guy's outfit we colored. So let's see if we can get a little something else going on. Alright, the top of his shoulders. That didn't work out as well as I was hoping. So we're going to have to fix that. This part of his arm shouldn't be that long or that off center. So there we are, able to correct a little. I like that. Want a little bit of a line over here, so if we do add color to him, we have a space to do that. Back. Alright. That guy seems to be popping up pretty good. Right? Oh, this is hard work, you guys. Sorry for the break. Got a drink sometimes. All right, so now we're going to go back into the fish here and add in some more of our, excuse me, a little bit of definition. You know what I mean? There we go. Nice, clean, sharp. This will let us take the very front lip off of this guy, but be able to leave some background stuff. And we've got another fish back here. I want to bring him out. right? I don't know if there's enough fish here. You know, I think we need more fish. You know what I mean? I do like this right here, this little sort of vignette of one big fish throwing up two fish. In fact, I might do a larger piece based on this right here because it's really odd and interesting. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's got a little white. It's kind of liking our vivid green a little bit more, although it was clearly not dark enough. Everything I need except that one. Maybe fern. Let's try that. I kind of like that. There's that different green we were looking for. Yeah, that's cool. Getting there, getting there. I think we need a little bit of a brighter brown. This fern really worked out. Let's switch over to that. This is our pink, which we need for more skin. We're using skin, white, skin. Sorry about that. We're using carmine pink. Cadmium yellow and white to make our skin colors, and the fish's ears and stuff. Yeah, skin color. Give everybody their fins. Make everybody make sense. Put a little white here so that we can fit some green in there. Alright, we need some black to make this guy's arm make sense. So now his arm stands out just a bit more against this big knife that he's holding. I feel like all these fish's eyes are looking at me, kind of freaking me out. Just kidding, guys. I was Cain. I'm liking this green color. It's very cool. Finally, what we needed, a green that shows up good and isn't the color we've used on everything else. It's really, really good. Wonder how this green would look on our big guy. Huh, looks like you can see it anyway. There we go. Good to have a little, I know I keep saying the same thing, but variation is really, really important to creating reality out of your drawings. It doesn't have to be 100% representational reality, but the reality you want your piece to have, which is really different than what the right way to do it would be, or anything like that. You just do it the best you can. You just try to focus on the concept and don't worry that much about what the world outside is like. There is an argument for doing it as real as you can, so that people look at it and I can identify what you're trying to say. But that is definitely not a requirement. All you have to do is do the best you can with what you're doing, and that's it, man. Like, this is your stuff. All of us have our own style, our own. Excuse me. Very rude. Sorry about that. Excuse me. All of us have our own skill. I used to always say that I'm pretty good and I could copy people, but I can't create in your the way you create. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. So you guys are the master of your own destiny, and you guys create this world in whatever you want it to look like, or whatever you want it, to be. So don't give up on that stuff. It's really important. So we're going to go back to the piece. All right. Now we're about an hour and a half in, so I hope you guys are having fun. I hope this is what you wanted out of it. We will have to see. Now over here in this area is this building. So we can get in a little bit closer to it, so you guys can see the building over there, right? We got this building, we got this character climbing the ladder to put the fish on the hook. I feel like the guy is hard to make out there. You know what I mean? Like, the fish is okay, sorta, but the guy is nearly invisible. So we want to fix that. He is holding the fish with this hand, so that makes some sense. There we go. Can't see his head really, and you really can't see his other arm except that it's holding the rung. All right. Now, as you can see, that's getting a little on the muddy side right there. So we gotta try to, keep going back and forth. Pull it out, push it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're, what we're doing. So go in underneath him here. Try to make some fingers. We're gonna have to black up, white up this fish so that we can get him to, to work. If his foot was on the ladder, it would be behind the ladder, right? You wouldn't be able to see it. And we got another foot. And then down here, which is not to be confused with the underside of the fish. Now, this part of the fish is white, as we talked about. This is the belly of the fish. So we want to just mess with it a little bit. Try to see if we can get, some white on here that'll stay. Like I said, this is the fish's belly, so, that is what it is. He's carrying this fish up to hang him. I'm going to have to redo our incisions after we bring this color in. Incisions. liking what's happening with those fish, I'll tell you. So now we're going to go back over to our building. Now for this, you do not have to do it this way. This is just kind of the way that I do it. This is a structure. This is a building. And so a building should have parallel lines. All right, now this one is split in two. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it parallel lines up top and then parallel lines down the side. I'm assuming I can find my way. We're going to go back over this and turn it like a brown because it should have, it's a wood thing, you know what I mean? Or a thatch thing. Totally unrelated to this is I was once in Mexico, and in the place I was in Mexico, they had the largest thatched roof in the country. I don't know that that's wicked interesting, but I kind of enjoyed it, and it is big. It is really big. Tell you a completely silly story about that. I went to see the largest thatch roof, which was actually in a hotel in Cancun. So I was there looking at it, and the concierge desk was right there. So I went over to the concierge desk, and I said, could I ask, some information? Do you know anybody in here that speaks English? And he says, oh, I speak English. I was like, oh, great. I wanted to know where I could eat dinner. And he goes, do you remember me? This is in Mexico. I live in Boston. So I said, I really don't. Should I? And he says, yeah. You picked me at Blue Man Group, where I worked for 13 years, to be a part of the show. That was like last week. What's the chance? I could run into the guy that I met in Boston in Mexico. Insane. This kind of stuff tends to happen to me kind of all the time. Why? I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I think that it's just what happens, So, I'm sorry if you guys can't really see this. It'll make sense, though, when we finish. Thatched roofs are pretty specific. You know what I mean? They basically do their thing. The only way a thatch roof works is if you have a lot of thatch on it. Right. And then down the front of the barn, you're kind of going to want concentric lines also, because it's also built of individual pieces, right? I think this Metallica record is the best they've made in a long, long time. I do really like them, so I'm potentially extremely biased. But I'm trying to evaluate them without bias. Getting there. Now this one probably would be more like wood coming around this side. All right. Now here we're still going to do them. We're just going to do a much, much smaller version because it's to the left of the window or the door or whatever this is. Also got to be careful we don't hit our fish as we go down, because that will really mess with the reality of the fish being in the foreground compared to this background information. You know what I mean? I hope you guys are having a good time. I know this isn't the world's most riveting experience. But we're doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm having a really awesome time. I hope you guys are. I really love these live streams. I think that it's just the thing I need, to keep, meet with kids who can't get to my place. I run open studio programming, at Temple Young Adult Resource Center in Framingham. That's at 68 Henry Street. I've been working with those guys I worked with those guys for more than 5 years, and my studio is still in the building there in the basement. I am there Wednesday and Fridays from 10:30 to 3, of course, after our health problem is gone. If anyone wants to come, it is free. It is for ages 16 to 26. And we work with a variety of media. You know, we're in the studio, so there's a huge amount of products that we could use. Every time I have young adults in, I try to say that they should work with something they've never tried before, because I think that that's a great way to learn. You know, if you force yourself sort of to to consider this stuff, then it'll help you be better as an artist. I am not telling you that if you come in, I will teach you how to be a better artist, because my work is really about demos. You know, it's really about doing, just showing people how they could do some work. You know, it is not really about me. It's kind of about, you guys, like whatever you need, I stock the studio with as much stuff as possible so that we are, you can try whatever you want. I feel like before everything got silly, the last couple of months, we've done a lot of paint pouring, spin art, marker drawing and painting, toys. In fact, I actually just was working on this Judge Dredd figure, which is coming out pretty good. He's a Funko Pop. Next thing I have to do is this huge badge that's in there. That's coming along. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is all good. So keep working on this building back here. Another good thing about the ruler is when you make your line, you're not going to forget to make the other side of the line, because the information is right there. So chances are you'll be able to make it out. Now, the only problem with this work is that you really have to be careful that you keep your lines parallel. Because if you don't, well, then they don't work. You know what I mean? Then they don't look parallel. Another thing to watch out for is where we have this tree coming in. This tree is here, the one he's climbing. This is the edge of our building here. And then the earth comes up a little. All right, I'm going to take a look. I want to keep this building going. All right. Make sure, like I said, you don't cut off something that's important. This earth here, I want to be coming down like it is. Right. Same with that guy. Get in here and clean this up a little. Make sure our lines make sense. All right. So now that barrel stands out a little bit. How about we throw some color on that? Put a little white in here so that we can put some color on it. Alright, so what color do we think it should be? How about that gray that we haven't been able to figure something to put it on? I feel like this whole picture is grays and greens and browns. Seems like we should try to get something a little different. To none. Alright, how about a little yellow? Don't want to overuse any of your colors. This is a fairly low saturation image. So if we throw a huge bright yellow on there, then you'll see it from a couple miles away. This is coming out all right, guys. I'm really kind of digging this, I think that this effort to mimic Hieronymus Bosch. He's probably one of the most important artists that I've ever looked at, and now I'm getting to, to sketch him out. So, sketch out one of his pieces, and it's really going really well. I think. And I'm trying to find a way to not lose all my stuff all the time. We do need a little bit of green for this character over here. I think we said fern green looked pretty good. Yeah. Right. Okay. Whoops. It's great to keep your pencils in your hat if you don't forget that they're there. I feel like I often have multiple pencils sticking out of my hat. Maybe I should put this one in. Won't lose those. All right. So we're about an hour and a half in. A lot of good stuff is happening. We're going to keep working on this building and see if we can get a little bit more out of it. We see right now we got the guy climbing the tree. We've got the barn in the background. I think the barn is coming out pretty good. Now, because there's two roofs here, we want our contour lines or our thatches to be off a little bit. That's why we didn't do straight lines, because we're really looking for to be off a little. We may have gotten to the end of that album. Let's see if we can play something else. Any requests? No. We do not have any requests, Dave. Do not have any requests. I feel like that does a lot to help with our building. Really helps pull the background in, look at this. Our piece is definitely starting to take shape, Even with the fishes in the water and stuff, I'm really feeling pretty good about this. Yes, it feels like maybe we should give this fish a little bit of extra attention. This is Jack Black, if anybody doesn't recognize him. Well, you don't want to trace this guy and make him pop out too much. We just want to make sure that you can see him. Inside of his mouth has got some white, even though it's going into shadow. This one is the black. even though it's black paper, I feel like the black still brings out the character, the lines. Inktense makes the outliner, and I would guess that outliner is not a colored pencil. I think the outliner is more like a regular pencil, because it doesn't have any obvious coloration. So it's mostly just a black guy. You know what I mean? Just a black crayon, colored pencil. Where it is right now, I couldn't tell you. Is this what I was looking for? Yeah. Cool. Oh, I know. Wanted to give the inside of this guy's mouth just a little bit more white. Just make out the stuff inside there. There we go. Alright. So now up here with these guys, we gotta make sure the shadow from the inside of their mouth is still there. Because that would be there, the inside of this fish's mouth. Right? That would definitely be there. So I want to make sure we don't forget about it. Another thing is every time I go to use a pencil, I read the label. If you're not colorblind and you don't need to do that, well, more power to you. But if you do, make sure you read them every time. Because sometimes you can really screw some stuff up if you don't look. I have done it quite a few times, I will tell you. Now we got more of a sort of a color coding on this fish. Now, just a little shadow. You don't really have to do much. Your brain's going to fill in. If you look at all these fish and they have a shadow in basically the same place, it's going to tell your brain, hey, those fish are in the same place. Obviously. Don't think we'd be able to see these fish so good, but making them a little lighter is the way to go. Okay, kind of do the same with this one. Get a little more swirls in his eyes, and then fill the bottom of his body with white and the top really lightly with white, so that we can bring in a little green. It's really cool to be able to look at what I'm drawing on Facebook at the same time. It's fun. You guys should do it. Bottom half of this character of this guy. Would be whiter, a little whiter, because it's the bottom of his body. Whoops, that's why, because that's his hat. Let's go in and fix that. Oops, see, wrong color. You don't want to do that. Just got an old school hand sharpener. I white here just to help bring his hat forward a little bit. Same idea with this other fish that are coming out. In here, you know, we can wrap the fish in white and then go back and add green, and a lot of times that'll help add a little definition to the guy, you know, to the fish. This is super interesting to be drawing a million fish. I'm liking it, you know. I would say that I haven't drawn a lot of fish in my life, but maybe that's not true. I said that the other day, and somebody was like, "Oh, I've seen tooth drawings of yours." I said, "Fish drawings of yours?" I said, "You have? I don't remember drawing any fish." And they said, "Well, you know, clearly you don't know what you're talking about." Okay. Where are we going next? How about over here? So here is a fishing boat. I was putting the net out, but I don't really love how the net came out. Kind of want to see if we have that light blue, lagoon blue, sea blue. I think that we should use a slightly lighter blue. Again, we break out this guy just to see if we can find a deep, lighter blue. Oh, this is peacock blue. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Let's see if there's any more blues around. Makes sense. Oh, what we got here? Green aquamarine. That'll be good to add to our water. All right, you guys. We're coming into our last 10 minutes here. We're adding these colors. This is This is aquamarine, peacock blue, and this one is green aquamarine. We're going to take a look at these, see what they look like. Oh, that's kind of a nice off blue color. And then this one is the one that I'm thinking about using for additional water information. And for sure, that does look kind of green. Wonder what happens if we put some in. See it? Yeah, kind of. This guy's pretty dull, so we gotta fix him. All right. Almost. All right. So for the aquamarine blue, I want to use it to make this guy pop up a little out of the water. These guys too, it's like a little bit too much white happening here. A little cool of white on here so that we can make the boat make just a little bit more sense to add some color. Okay. Now I was thinking of making the boat the color I haven't used yet, but just a little. That looks pretty good. All right. Where to go next? Where to go next? What do you guys think? How are we doing here? I feel like if we move the light away, you might really be able to see what's happening. I think it looks really cool. I think we're doing really good. Well, anyway, we got like about 5 more minutes. So what I'm going to try to do is to finish up some of the stuff that I think is obviously not working. I'm feeling like a lot of this is working really good, though. I love this incision here. I was actually thinking about putting a little red along the edge, as if he had cut the fish. Okay. So this red boat out here is all I'm going to do. I think this guy came out really good. I want to give his underbody a little bit of a white. This album is Linkin Park live in Mexico. Always think, man, this guy's mad. I missed him though. This is Chester. An absolutely brilliant guy. There's some roots coming off of these trees. Make sure we got the tree all the way down here in the ground. Let's try to finish this up. Finish this building up a little. So now the tricky part here is going to be to avoid the ladder. Because if we overlap the ladder, that's not an easy way to fix it. So you want to do the best you can to avoid those lines. Also, I don't know that anybody is using Inktense, but if you use a metal ruler with Inktense, you will literally scratch the paint off. The ruler itself will cut the edge of the Inktense. So you want to try not to scrape it against the side. Try to not touch the edge quite so much, you know what I mean? And I used a ruler for these lines, but there's nothing saying that you need to. I have a guy back in here. Go. All right. Want to get in with a little brown in there. My favorite color, bark. Alright, you guys, well, that is basically what we have for you today. I had a lot of fun working on this project with you guys today. I hope you guys had some fun. You know, there's always more work that we can do. You know what I mean? Like, please let me know if there's anything anybody is interested in or anything anybody wants to talk about. You know what I mean? We're willing to do anything you guys want. Whoops. So let's take a look at our fish one last time. So this is me, this is us, this is our thing. Let me turn me off. Pull back a little so we can take a look at it. Like I said, guys, I have super appreciated working with you guys, and I really enjoy this stuff. So if you guys could help me by viewing my stuff and sending me likes and stuff, that might mean I'd be able to continue doing these. So how about you guys, check it out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear some comments or messages. I'm very interested in what you guys are interested in. So if there's something you want to see, let me know and we can demo that. Again, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate the time, and I hope you guys are liking what we're doing here. I feel like it's coming out really good. I wonder if it's a little bright for you guys with my light there. Now you can really kind of see what's going on. So that's what it is, you guys, Let's try to do some artwork this weekend. We got a 3-day weekend, so try to get out there and do some artwork, or stay in and do artwork. Next week we'll probably be finishing this up on Wednesday unless something else starts. I'm not sure how much longer this is going to take me. I'm doing it on Instagram one day from 1 to 2. Excuse me. There's every possibility we will finish this piece over the next couple of sessions. So, give me some feedback, guys. I'm super interested in what you have to say. But as of this moment right now, we are done. So I'm going to say thank you for being a part of it one more time. And please come back and check out the other programming I'm going to have. This next week, I think we'll be doing another paint marker piece or maybe some airbrush. I will put the event schedule on Facebook, and I'm going to start putting all of the medias on for each week. Got some yawning going today. I can't stop it. So that's kind of the deal, guys. And I'm I will talk to you all in 3 days. All right. Peace out.